situation where your clothes have been loosened and you can just flop backward when you need to. You take 2 hits. Now, many people miss the point because after 2 hits, you feel completely peculiar. You feel as though your body is undergoing some strange kind of anesthesia. All the air has been pumped out of the room. This is the visual acuity thing I talked about last night. The colors jump up. The edges sharpen. It's and at that point, people say, "Whoa, wow, it's really coming on strong." And then what you have to do is you have to take one more enormous hit. And this separates the intrepid from the casual, believe me. Because most people, and the facilitator doesn't want to lean on the person. You say, damn it, take the 3rd hit. And say, no, I feel completely weird. Say, I know you feel weird, but take the 3rd hit. Well, if you can coax somebody into that, then what happens is you close your eyes and you see the ordinary warm brown back, closed eyelid scenario. And then these colors begin racing together and it forms this mandalic, floral, slowly rotating thing, which I call the chrysanthemum. This is a place in the trip that you want to see as you go by it. The chrysanthemum forms and you watch it for like 15 seconds. If it doesn't give way, you didn't do enough. You have to do more. One more hit usually will do it. Well, then what happens is it like physically propels you through this chrysanthemum-like thing, and there's a sound like a saran wrap bread wrapper being crumpled up and thrown away, that crackle. A friend of mine says this is your radio intellect key leaving through the anterior fontanelle at the top of your head. I don't know what it is. Something is being... Yeah, right. That's what it is. And then there's this very defined sense of bursting through something, a membrane. And on the other side, and this is now, remember, my experience, on the other side, as you break through, there's a cheer. There's a whole bunch of entities waiting on the other side. And they, that Pink Floyd song, the gnomes have learned a new way to say hooray. Well, it's that place. It's those gnomes. And you burst into this space, and they're saying, how wonderful that you're here. You come so rarely. We're so delighted to see you. And one of the things about DMT that's really puzzling is, in a sense, it doesn't affect your mind. In other words, you don't change. For instance, if you take ketamine, the first thing you notice, the very first thing you notice before the trip hits, is you notice that you no longer are anxious about having taken ketamine. You just sort of anxiety leaves you. That means it's affecting your mind. It's doing something to the judgmental machinery. DMT doesn't lay a hand on the judgmental machinery. You break through into that space exactly who you were before breaking through. And the usual reaction of most people is something like, you think, God, heartbeat, normal, pulse, normal, everything's normal, everything's normal, oh God. Because these things are there, and they're hammering at you, and they come forward. They're like jeweled, self-dribbling basketballs. And there are many of them, and they come pounding toward you, and they will stop in front of you.
Can you guys see my spandex? I have my spandex on tonight. I just want to make sure that I'm good. Y'all know when I have my spandex on, it gets real sexy. The lesson's real good then. So at some point, let me know if you guys can see my lower half. You know, I have to put some pants on. You know, it's a deep thing. Don't worry about it. I got it.
And vibrate, but then they do a very disconcerting thing, which is they jump into your body. They jump into your body, and then they jump back out again. And the whole thing is going on in this very high-speed mode where you're being presented with thousands of details per second, and you can't get a hold on, you say, oh my God, what's happening? And these things are saying, don't abandon yourself to amazement, which is exactly what you want to do. You just want to go nuts with how crazy this is. They say, don't do that. Don't do that. Pay attention. Pay attention to what we're doing. Well, what are they doing? Well, what they're doing is they're making objects with their voices. They're singing structures into existence. These things are, and what they will do is they'll come toward you, and then, and you have to understand, they don't have arms, so we're kind of downloading this into a lower dimension to even describe it. But what they do is they offer things to you. Say, look at this, and as your attention goes toward these objects, you realize that what you're being shown is impossible. It's impossible. It's not simply intricate, beautiful, and hard to manufacture. It's impossible to make these things. The nearest analogy would be to the Fabergé eggs or something like that. But these things are like the toys that are scattered around the nursery inside a UFO or something. Celestial toys. And they are, the toys themselves appear to be somehow alive. The toys themselves can sing other objects into existence. So what's happening is there's just this proliferation of elf gifts. And the elf gifts are moving around, singing, and the whole thing is directed toward, they're saying, do what we are doing. And they're very insistent. They say, do it,
Press.
do it, do it. And you feel like a bubble. And now this is subjective. I mean, only 5% report this, but it happens to me. You feel like some kind of bubble inside your body that's beginning to move up toward your mouth. And when it comes out, it isn't sound, it's vision. You discover that you can pump stuff out of your mouth by singing, and they're urging you to do this. They say, that's it, keep doing it. And the whole thing is like, we're now at minute 4.5 with this stuff. And you speak in a kind of glossolalia. There's a spontaneous outpouring of syntax unaccompanied by what is normally called meaning. It's sort of, he ding wow wak sop diggy moo dick diggy ding get wahak siki beeping and wahavedictum bahagagetek. And this is accompanied by a modality, something seen. And they say,
That's them spirits summoning her.
And then after a minute or so of this, the whole thing begins to collapse in on itself. And they literally begin to physically move away from you. And usually their final shot is they actually wave goodbye and they say, deja vu, which makes no sense at all if you analyze it. So then you...
Salam, shalom. Wise Solace here. All praises to the horizon. Of course, I want to do this deep video explaining what Mr. Terrence McKenna was he was sharing his experience on DMT. I want to explain to you guys his experience, what happened. And so before I do that, I want to say this so that you guys can grasp. When you're dealing with life, of course, life is starting from a vibration. This vibration is rising, so of course a rising vibration will become sound. Sound will become light, light substance. If you're lost, think lightning and thunder. Give me 1 second. I apologize. Like I said, think lightning then thunder. So these are your orders of life manifesting forth physically from the vibration. Now, like I said, you have many life forms. You have silence. This is a thing that y'all know. You have sound. You have syllable and word. I'll say that again. You have silence, sound, syllable, and word. Of course, silence is vibration. Sound is vowel. Syllable is like and, nu, na. You get it? Syllable. More than a vowel, but not the word. Parts of the word. Then, of course, you have the word. So that's what I mean when I say you have silence, sound, syllable, and word. Of course, sounds will make your syllables, and syllables will make the completion of the word. So this is like the build-up of a thing. Manifesting forth physically. Now, the point I'm making, hopefully you guys were paying attention to that. You have some life forms here that express themselves silently, like plants, trees. You have some life forms that express themselves through sound, vowel, like ah, eh, eh. You get it? Of course, you have some life forms that express themselves through syllable, like a sheep, ba. You get it? Like a syllable, like a part of a word, but not a word. Then, of course, you have man. Man expresses himself through word. So when that man is the manifested vibration of the word, meaning the vibration is whole. This would be the sound or the word, the vibration. Whatever pattern the vibration takes, this is the word, not heard. And so that word will manifest out, or that vibration will manifest out broken up into vowel, like ah, eh, o, Look at A as a pattern, a vibration. When you break the sound of ah into pieces, you get A, E, I, O, U, or ah, eh, o, Ah. See how it ends in And so look at it like that. You have the vibration manifesting out, dividing into vowel, coming back together as the manifested word. That word, manifesting out physically. And so I'm trying to give you guys a perspective of your levels of life building up. Meaning man is God, or the manifested word, which is one and the same. But man has to know that. What's going on, Jazz DW? Now, let's get to this DMT. DMT is a death molecule tripper, meaning y'all have death molecules within. DMT kind of activates them or trips them, like an antagonizer. Antagonizes the death within self, of course. And so the DMT experience is like death slowed down to 1,000%, making a quick flash of a thing slow. In that you see every aspect of death. Now, of course, y'all view death as something different than what it is. Death being the going back. Like sun rises, then it sets. You wake up, fall asleep. Death's like the going back. And so y'all see all that's in the going back, so to say. Now, being as though the death is kind of slowed down to 1,000%, the mind is able to slip out. Meaning, this is why people take DMT and they get don't die. Like, well, you do have some that die. I don't want to say that, but this is why a lot of people have taken it and didn't die. Being as though the death is being stretched out, the mind kind of slips out. It's like forcing the death, luring you in. So this is what the entity are. They're like luring the mind into, the death. Come farther. Come on, it's fun. So if you listen to him explaining it, and he's like, you break through. You're not breaking through anything. You're going through the dimensions below organism. You get it? You're going back to the primordial waters, this being the death. You get it? But they're luring you, like, look, do what we do. And it's mind game thing, meaning there's many aspects to the self. And so look at it like this. You see a tree, meaning you know what a tree looks like. Imagine a tree in your mind. Now imagine you being able to just instantly see every cell in the tree that makes up the whole tree. So now instead of seeing a solid tree, you're seeing like all the entity that make up the tree. But you're seeing them in real time as if you're their size. Still being able to see the tree. Then eventually you don't see the tree anymore. You just see the cells that make up the tree on individual level. And so this is like what Terence McKenna's explaining when he's like, you burst through. You're not bursting through anything. You're going into the lower dimensions of life. Organism, cell, molecule, atom. Then of course you have your quarks below atom. This is what comes together and makes protons, neutrons. And so you're sinking deeper and deeper towards the abyss, or getting drawn to it by the entity being real. This is why I explained to y'all, like, life manifesting forth from the vibration, so you can grasp. You started from a vibration, and so every aspect of self up into this point is carrying over. You get it? Meaning you consist of cells. Those cells consist of molecules. Those molecules consist of atoms, all the way down. All of this being within you. This is what you consist of. All of that. A solar system, so it consists of you and everything else down. And so, it's a deep thing I want you guys to grasp. Imagine looking at a tree and then being able to see all the cells in the tree. On an individual level, though, like entity, you're like their size. See, you see them in real time. Then being able to see in the entity, as if the entity was a tree, see all the smaller life within the entity, but on their level. So for you, it's not looking like you're like going into smaller dimensions. For you, it just looks like you're going into different realms. You get it? The entities are like, it's like I said, you're going down. So the entity are coming into your size. It's deep. Now, of course, this happens all the way till you get to the atom. This is the light. So I guess they're like, ooh, I seem like a light. Then I burst through it. Once that happens, now you're on. Before you get to light, so you have sound. Sound being a level of life with the entity in it. Sound being like airs. Of course, you have your atoms, your atomic level of life in it, coming together. And so, Once you get below atom, now you're at like quarks. This is your sounds, your syllables, meaning this is your vowels. Your vowels coming together to make syllables. Your syllables coming together to make words. Look at the word like the level below an atom, which is light. You get it? So look at proton, neutron, and electron coming together like word. This is manifesting the light. You get it? Of course, those lights are atoms. These atoms are coming together to manifest a molecule. This is substance, liquid, and so on and so forth. I'm trying to help you guys grasp the perspective. And so once you get past atom, now you're in the level of life of sound and vibration. And so you know how they say like, oh, the elves are like changing shapes, and you're in the level of sound and vibration, and so they're changing their vibration. This is why it looks machine-like. They say, man, the elves is like a machine, and you're looking at vibrational patterns in real time, meaning that small level of life that y'all could never perceive, a vibration, a sound. Me saying ah, which is a sound, that's an entity, literally. No different than when I ejaculate, that's an entity. I hold all of this. You get it? This is why word is so important. Thought too. They one and the same. Are y'all following? Y'all kind of on good behavior. Peace and wisdom. Is this really deep? If it is, you guys can give me some thumbs up. Y'all kind of lacking on that. I don't mind if you guys give back also. When y'all give back, I stick around longer. It's a deep thing. Let me know if y'all grasping. Now, where was I at? When you get to the level of life of sounds, of course, this is your vibrations, your syllables, your sounds, your words. And so their bodies are their makeup is like vibrations, how vibrations are not so much fixed, but they kind of change. And so, peace and wisdom, Maurice Campbell. I'm glad y'all grasping. Hopefully y'all grasp balance. Hopefully y'all grasp my lessons on balance one day. Now, this is what's being experienced when one takes DMT, meaning you're being drawn through the levels of life beneath an organism, and they're luring you to be pulled back into the primordial waters are death. Meaning when you take DMT, those entities are trying to get you to stay in death. But, fixed death where you can't escape. And so it's like weird, strange. But like I said, they're luring you to death. Meaning misery loves company, they're dead. they love you because like you're gonna be one of them. So they're like, do what we do, look, come on. Follow me. We're gonna take you somewhere fun and then you'd like be dead for good. And so it's a deep thing. In the past, they were dealing with, like I say, when you're dealing with seals, meaning when you take DMT, so you see entities. DMT is just one drug with its structure. When I say structure, this is the shape or pattern or genetics of that drug, the substance, the agents in the substance. When you mix different substances together, so you create a more powerful substance with a more developed agent inside of it. This is a seal. And so, like mixing DMT, cocaine, and marijuana. So, this would be like a seal that would get you to reach an entity. DMT is just going to bring you into the realms. You get it? You see all kinds of entities, but not so much personal. Now, if you have the correct mixture, which is the mixing of these individual drugs, creating a more complex structure or a seal, like those symbols y'all see of the entity. It's that. That seal is basically concealing the recipe to the common person. You have to remember, spirit summoning is banned for that reason. Not only are you making drug addicts, drug addicts have their sicknesses and viruses that they carry, but you get it? People losing their mind and their merit. They talking to spirits. This is real. So you got people just walking around. They got boyfriend and girlfriends that's spirits. They like, I'm about to go get high so I could. Some of y'all probably laughing, but this is real. Like, just think in today times if y'all had these recipes. In today times y'all playing around with it, but y'all don't have the recipes. You got like K2 and stuff. It's getting close, but y'all don't have the recipes. Y'all just kind of losing the mind, so to say. But let's just imagine we had the recipes in today's time for you to see. Let's say we had the recipe to contact 10 entities. Of course, the recipe being which drugs to mix, ayahuasca, DMT, and something else. Mix this, that, and that. And you get it? Like that. Let's say we had 10 recipes to reach 10 different entities. So most people gonna want to go back again. Say, now I want to go talk to the. That was trippy. I want to do it again. It's not. It doesn't seem like you get it. I don't know how to explain it. It's dangerous. Meaning in today times, if I gave one of y'all a seal and said, here, try this. This is the one that's gonna take you to so and so. You take it. You're gonna want to do it again. Like you get it. It's gonna blow your mind. Like the fuck. I spoke to somebody and then they're telling you things, meaning this is real sorcery. So these entities are real, meaning it doesn't matter who you are, you'll see them. They know stuff you don't. But you can't trust them because they're trying to pull you into death. They're liars. They're like the souls of dead men. To give you an example, I hope I don't disturb anyone. Terrence McKenna liked to play around with the DMT a lot. He's there with them. All is mine. Like, please grasp what I'm saying. All is mine. He's no longer in the vessel, but he's with them. That's why they say don't play around with the spirit summoning practices, because then you belong to the spirits. It's like selling your soul to them. You get it? Maybe this will help y'all grasp what they mean by that. Like, y'all see people do drugs and then they lose it. They never snap out. They die in that state with the mind like that. And so when you're doing these drugs, summoning these spirits, you don't know who you summoning. Like, okay? That's the crazies in life. Literally, crazy people know stuff though. So you gotta grasp. When you're doing DMT, you playing with death, you playing with the crazies in life. Those are the crazy spirits of the dead. And so it may sound strange, but so this is how life works. Like I said, you have levels of life beneath organism. You can access them, but not through hocus pocus stupidity, through wisdom, meaning all the science. You have to know the recipe. You say you get that fly. Meaning in the past they didn't have the seals. The seals is new so that, let's say I'm a sorcerer. So I look at the seal, I know what it is. Y'all don't. Y'all say that's the seal of Baal. He's a spirit. You need to make his seal for him to come. Y'all think like carve it out in something and then have that symbol he's gonna just pop up. That's not how it works. That seal is his recipe. You get it? Meaning the spirits are in the spine. Those different mixtures of drug substances are emerging them. This is all a within thing. So they antagonize y'all physically. So it's a deep thing. Try to grasp. If y'all have questions, ask. I'm not sure how much y'all can follow. Meaning, this is science, deep level sorcery. Science just being sorcery. Good sorcery is like y'all have lights. Bad sorcery is like an atom bomb. You get it? The same way I said you take different substances, mix them together, you can contact an entity. So it's the same way you make an atom bomb. Atom bombs are made from like the merging of the smaller levels of life. It's like splicing the smaller levels of life, atoms, molecules, mixing them. Things that wouldn't naturally be mixed to create, deep things, like a bomb. You get it? And so, this is what those seals are. All those different seals are symbols of entities. The 72 are the spinal deity that locked down the dead. So those have to do with talking to entity. But then you have other seals for like making virus, like COVID or anything you want. This being a matter of mixing and merging different substance. We getting the substance from the life, meaning anthrax would technically be like a seal. It comes from the soil though. The psychedelic drug substances that are being mixed and merged together to contact the deity comes from certain flowers, certain plants. So in the past, they know it that way. They don't know a seal. They know the stuff. Like, go get me some nutmeg out the back. You can put nutmeg. Somebody, I don't want to say, whoever, if you, how, damn. I'm going to tell y'all something to try. Then y'all see for y'all own self. The young kids be watching. Now, I put my videos ain't for young kids, but if you put nutmeg on your weed, it won't just be weed anymore. Let's say that. You get it? Now, when I was smoking it, I said, it's like I told y'all. Y'all produce DMT within y'all own self. You see a dirty ass person, earwax damn near hanging out their ear, and you like, ew, smoke that. Pull up how DMT look, and then pull up how earwax look, and then you ask yourself, like, is Solace just some strange ass scientist that know shit of all? Meaning all these things is right around y'all. This is why spirit summoning practices is banned. It ain't like you got to search for nothing. Y'all already have everything right now. Meaning y'all are seeking all over the planet for DMT and shit and different psychedelics, and a lot of them things is in y'all products. Y'all already got them. Clorox and shit. Like, it's sick. I don't want to say too much. It's deep level wisdom, like I said, but those seals is to confuse y'all. Y'all see those, y'all get, it's deep. Y'all lose perspective. Like I said, a sorcerer look at those, he know what that is. This drug, and that drug mix. The more drugs you mix, so the higher level of spirit you contact. You mix 3 different drug substances together, you might see this entity. You mix 4 or 5, you see higher levels, entities of deity. You see higher status entity. But you're mixing more drugs. You get it? So you can die. And so like the highest spirit, this is the devil, Satan. But like most people can't contact him because you got to mix like 9 different substances, knowing the accurate recipe. The higher the deity you're trying to contact. When you're dealing with the mixing of the substances, so you need like the more toxic ones is how you get to the higher ones. Meaning the more toxic, psilocybin mushroom is kind of toxic. That shit dangerous. But that's the shit that will, you get it? It will push you through there. Ayahuasca ain't like that. You get it? Ayahuasca's like milder, but it's not as toxic as the mushroom. You get it? And so y'all look at the plants wrong. All the plants are the same. They're just different levels of potency. And so you either look at all the plants as medicinal, or look at them as all poison. And the ones that are less potent, we call them medicines, and the ones less potent than that, we call food. And then, of course, the real potent ones, we call them poison. So remove the separations in your mind. All you have is medicinal plants. The ones that are not that potent, we eat them, they food. The ones that are kind of potent, we use them for medicine. And the ones that are real potent, they will kill us. But you can dilute it. You get it? You can dilute the toxic ones to where it won't kill you, so on and so forth. And so this is what the mixtures is about, meaning some drugs cancel out others. And so you have to know the right recipe. Now let's say you want to contact good old Lucifer. So you mix and merge 9 different substances. You know the correct mixture. So then you just have a massive heart attack because that's too much drugs. Right? So that's what I mean. In the past, they were taking these drugs in levels, starting off with the smaller deities, 3 mixtures, going up 4 mixtures. You get up to 7 and 8 and die, but he almost made it. You get it? That Aleister Crowley shit. That's what this is about. They trying to break through, meaning it's deep. I don't want to say too much because some of y'all. Jazz DW said, how do you know what entity is associated with what seal? Because the seals say the entity name. You get it? Meaning the seal is, you don't need the seal. The seal is just concealing the recipe. In the past, they would have known like mix mushrooms with ayahuasca plant and weed and it's going to take you to this spirit. They would have just told you what it looked like. Say like Baal. He looked like a man, a cat, and a frog. Be trippy, like changing. Like how they explain the DMT elves. They be like, oh, they be changing shapes and like that. They would have just explained it like that in the past. If you take these 3, the same way y'all do now. You say, if you take DMT, you're going to see DMT elves and they like this. That's how it would have been in the past. Mix these 3 drugs, you're going to see this person. He's going to tell you stuff that's in the future that nobody know. Meaning these deity are real. They tell you some real shit about the past, the future. They all have different talents. Literally. Meaning you take these drugs, you see this entity, you literally may come back as a hell of a magician. Like, yeah, he taught me magic. He was a magician. He did it. They what they are. Same way y'all are what y'all are, y'all know what y'all know. According to y'all, y'all know every goddamn thing. Period. Right? Y'all would tell the wisest man on the planet. Nah, you don't know. Like, you don't care. Now, y'all don't even have to do no studying or nothing. But y'all will do that. Because, y'all ruthless. And so I'm just trying to paint the perspective so y'all grasp. They just y'all dead. Not y'all dead, but y'all manifesting from the dead. All going back, it's all the same. Life's a circle. So, it's deep. But when you're dealing with this spirit summoning thing, it's not what you bid. Everybody in the daytime don't have no clue what they talking about. Meaning y'all be doing the most. It's funny because I say, man, they going through all this shit to learn spirit summoning practice. And all they got to learn is what drugs. They're just so fucking dumb. Like, man been here for a year telling y'all the same shit. Like, yo, the fake wisdom is the real stuff y'all can do. Man, y'all go sit on this motherfucker. I was watching a video of a dude. He's like a Wicca magician. You don't know nothing he talking about. I'm like, this shit is deep. They in the comments like, yeah, brother, you deep. They are never gonna see a spirit. He don't know what he talking about. But I'm just looking like, damn, life is deep. Everybody believes in nothing. It's like it's deep. But if you into that weird stuff and you want to see like if I really know what I'm talking, y'all don't even have to test it. They give it to y'all in the prescription drugs, meaning at some point they stopped dealing with the real spirits. They got into the pseudo-monarchs. You have a book called Offices of the Spirits or Pseudo-monarchia. It's about that. Spirit summoning. But the new edition, meaning you gotta remember at some point y'all ain't had no access to resources. You get it? So most of the stuff y'all get now is watered down. Fake leather. Not really animal side, but just fake ass leather. Fox leather. Y'all know fox leather, which is spelled Faux, is just another way to spell fake. Fake leather. I hope I didn't hurt no one's feelings. It's deep. You know, fox leather is it's pronounced. You can spell a thing different ways. It's very interesting in life. Can I get some thumbs up? I'm giving y'all deep jewels. I'm about to go deeper. I'm not sure what all the disrespect is about, baby. But can I get some thumbs up, please? Some give back, a little something. I got some things to do, and it's deep. Now, where was I at? Because I was about to go deep. If anybody knows, let me know. The last part I was at. I don't remember. But the things y'all learning ain't real. But there's the real version of these things. And so, like I said, y'all waste y'all time like learning nothing. It's as simple as that. Like alchemy, splicing a smaller level of life. Atoms, the molecules, these things. Mixing and merging them. When I say splice, I mean like that. Like make a man monkey. So man and monkey don't have sex. You would never get a man and a monkey. But if you splice it like that on a micro level, take the entity from this substance and mix and merge it with this substance, you make it a more complex entity. A virus. Think like semen or the substance of life. This is your philosopher's stone. The you. Another way of saying goo. Thank you, Jazz DW. I wasn't even talking to you, love. Some of y'all already do, some of y'all already balance. I'll be talking to the new ones. I'm truly not greedy. Meaning that's why when some of y'all give back, I make sure I say that. Like I'm not talking to you. It's not so you get hurt. It's just real. If you give back already, I'm not talking to you. The people that don't. That's all. Everybody take a chance, a time. Now where was I? Semen, the you. YHWH. This is the goo. The goos of life. The Holy Ghost. Fox fur coats. Yeah. Fake fur coats. That's how you pronounce it. Now let me stay to the let me stay to the dang thing. Now, semen, this being the substance of life, this being all life forms manifest forth from the substance of life. But you have different arrangements of the semen, meaning the semen is many different substances brought together to create a more complex entity. Sperm cell, cone heads. They're like a level above, they're a level of life above virus. Virus would be like molecules. I guess you can say virus would be like, they would have to be a level of life below a cell because that's what they're attacking. But you get my point? No different with the smaller level of life. You mix this substance with that substance, you create a more complex entity. When you're dealing with semen, so you're dealing with like 9 to 12 different substance mixtures. This is your alchemy. Of course, that substance, that mixture manifests into physical body, physical being. But different arrangements of the mixtures, how you get the different arrangements of the physical manifested beings. A dog semen is not the same as a man semen. Dog semen gonna come out like dog body. Man semen gonna come out like man semen. But so these things are the same you, the same goo. just arranged different, meaning you got different substances being merged. Different arrangements, you get a different result. Kind of like A-E-I-O-U. Different arrangements, you get different result in the sound. And so it's like I said in the beginning, your sounds come together to create your syllables come together to create your words. So look at it in that way. Those orders carry up into any aspect of life that you're in. And so when you're dealing with the spirit summoning seals or substances, they all fall, meaning these substances, these psychoactive drugs, they all fall on a negative and positive side. Everything does. You can look at that as like a high and a depressant, or a ugly feeling and a good feeling. And so you have to mix and merge. You get it? It's like electrical work. You need two opposites, and then you need something to be the median. So usually weed is the median in the affair, and then you need to know. You get it? I don't want to say too much. Like I said, I don't want y'all to indulge, but I'm just giving y'all the perspective to grasp, because they afflicting y'all with these things now. Meaning they coming out with hella new drugs, hella new prescriptions. These are your pseudo-monarchs. Meaning at some point they realize we don't. Mixing drug mixtures will get you to this entity. And then we can make a fake one though. You get it? Like how they make fake sperm now. They say we make like synthetic sperm. So at some point they got to the point where they like, fuck the spirit summoning, mixing together of real organic substances that come from the light. We can just make synthetics. So now y'all have synthetic drugs that are mixtures of drugs, basically. Meaning when you're getting like prescription drugs, these is just a bunch of mixtures of drugs. Your pseudo-monarchs. Some of these drugs sometimes be the wrong mixture, and y'all see shit and hear shit. Think on that. How many people take prescription meds and they got like mental problems? When you're dealing with the mental problems, the drugs they prescribing, y'all be the ones that's really close to the arts, the science of old. And so y'all will get the tweaking, like, meaning you want to see a spirit take somebody that got mental problem drugs and you don't have any, take they shit. You're going to see the pseudo-monarchs, meaning you're going to see the synthetic version of the entities of old. I guess this is what you call like real bad trips, where y'all be like bugged the fuck out. Talking about I seen the devil, but this nigga was like way worse than I thought he was gonna be. Somebody else be like, I seen Lucifer, he was like a light, and nah, nigga, not the one I seen. He was a monster. And so what's the difference of the drugs? K2 would be like your pseudo-monarchs, meaning that's not weed and different mixtures of weed, and that's not weed and cocaine. You get it? Meaning in the past, like I said, those arts still stuck around, but for the most part, most people didn't know what they was doing, or they did somewhat, a little bit. Meaning in the past, they used to mix weed and cocaine, smoke woolies, and be blasted out their mind, bugging out. Angel's dust is like a seal, but it's not one to contact an entity, it's just one to make you delirious. You get it? It was different seals depending on how good of a sorcerer you are, meaning depending on how good you was at alchemy, knowing like, mix that and that, and you get that. Mix that and that, and you get that. Depending on how many you know and how good you are, they got seals for everything. Make virus, like herpes and shit. You got seals for you to contact entity. You got seals to make bombs. This all being the alchemy. Mix this metal with that metal. You get jewelry. You got metals like cesium and things y'all don't even deal with. When you expose cesium to oxygen, it just explodes, but it looks like gold until that point. And so there's metals we don't even deal with yet. That's over in Antarctica. And so the arts go deep. That's why I was banned. All I can say is stop playing with the death. It's good old Wazoo said. I'm gonna get back to my spandex, watch me some Netflix and chill. Y'all be groovy, you hear? Peace and wisdom.